So I said that I was going to start doing a couple of videos once a week. This one now would mark my second one in 2 days, so I kind of got some motivation to get some new videos out there. So today I want to talk to you about how we write stories today versus the exercise called story mapping. So we've run this exercise with multiple teams now, and they all seem to grasp onto the concept really easy. So I'd like to give you an example of what that would look like so that maybe everybody can start practicing it. So today what normally happens is our marketing group comes out with this huge list of stuff that the customer would like, and what our engineering group usually does is they break it into a system decomposition. So they would start off with a system, then subsystems, then user stories, because that's the way we've done things. And on the other side, we would then want to track our value, and we would have an epic, a minimal marketable feature, and then features. And what we would try to do then is to create a link between the user story and the feature and be able to track it this way and be able to maintain our system decomposition. And whenever we try to link two stories together in our system, that's where we have some issues because we can't simply do that. So here's an example that I usually show to the team. So if I was to do a credit card processing system, usually a customer would want to be able to do something like Visa and MasterCard. They want to be able to do charging and refunding, and they would also then want to be able to do dollars and euros. So that's how we would kind of break our system down. And in reality, what we'd really want is for us to be able to launch Visa in just dollars. So then we would try to create this release that then would be linked to these two things, which have been linked to these two things, which would be linked to this, and then we could simply keep everything together. Another example would be release 2 would then be MasterCard charging refund dollars and euros. So that's kind of the situation that we get into, and what we don't ask our customer or our marketing group or whoever's requesting this from a stakeholder is, what would you like first? So if we only knew what they would like first, we then could maybe break it out into something like this. So again, you still have your credit card, still have dollars, still have Visa, still have charging and refunding. So now our ability to track stuff would be based on this direction, and our release would then be Visa, which would include charging and refunding for dollars. And then release 2 would then be MasterCard charging and refund. So if we only asked a simple question of what would you like first, we then could simply break out our system based on the value that the customer is looking for. So the other thing that I teach teams is this thing called story mapping. I ran across it out on this website from Agile Product Design, and you can see this guy that created Mad Mimi listed out his product flow and all of their features that were identified in this product. And then what you're doing from there is you're simply trying to figure out what is the minimal marketable feature that you can go with. So in this example, you can see that in this minimal market, so let me explain story mapping. So story mapping in the top left corner is the thing the customer does first, and the far right hand side is the thing the customer does last. And then on this scale you use criticality, so then you use customer use to seldom use. So what I usually do with teams is I would simply say, what is the first thing the customer would do based on this structure that you've created? And what usually happens is they would say, oh, we do dollars first, and then we want to do Visa, and then maybe we would want to do charging, and those are the steps in order to get customers money. And then you would say, okay, well, what else do you do? And then you would say, oh, we also need refunding. And then I would say, okay, is that a minimal marketable product? And then they would say yes. So then you would draw the line here, and then maybe the next thing you would do is MasterCard and then euros. So this is kind of a theme of all the different types of currency. This is a theme for the credit card types, and this is a theme for charging types. So you're trying to figure out what the customer does first versus what they do last versus what they use versus what they seldomly do, and we call these things minimal marketable features. So now what would happen is all of these features would then be linked to this minimal marketable feature. This feature would then be linked to this minimal marketable feature. If priorities ever changed, we could then simply move MasterCard up and then start working on euros and then start breaking that down. So then we're constantly negotiating minimal marketable features. So That's my 5 minutes on what story mapping is, along with example on how to break down stories. Hope that helps.